Morning YouTube family, James Green, short series Shenanigans. So sitting here working on our morning cup of coffee to fix the camera. For those of you that are curious, been busy, so I've missed a couple of episodes of Sunday Shenanigans. You know, I've been busy with life, and like I always said in my channel, I do this stuff out here as far as the videos once I have all of my other family stuff done. And honestly, I've been busy with a lot of family stuff and helping friends with issues and things like that last couple of weeks. So I have been doing, for those of you that are curious, on Facebook in the mornings. Generally, and during the summer, today is an exception. Like today is actually Sunday morning real early, and I'm shooting the Sunday Shenanigans. So what I'll do is typically during the summertime is I'll stay up late and work like late until like early in the morning, like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm trying to reset my clock now that we're in August, and it rained and rained and rained and rained yesterday. You guys that are east of me, I know there was lots of storms, and I know right now Kansas City is probably getting hit big time. Kansas City, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, they're going to get hit. But anyway, so in the mornings, around, generally depending on where you're at, because I'm mountain time zone, so it'll be around noon or 1 or 2 o'clock, depending on your east of me, that I'll do a live feed on Facebook. And I've been doing that lately, just kind of a wake up routine. It's the raw, unedited me, which you know on Facebook, it's with me and my live stuff. If you guys have seen it, you know, and I'll save the videos. You guys can do the watch backs, but it's kind of any subject goes. So if you want to know the real me, it's live and unedited there. It's a free-flowing conversation, many a topic. So, but in the videos here, it's machining related and what we're doing in the garage. So let me work some more of this coffee here. I ended up having the wife get me one of these black bubble mugs here for my coffee, so that way I don't have to worry about, number one, I have so many people complaining because of what the other mug says on my YouTube channel. So plus this has a lid on it, I can keep the dust and dirt out of it, and it keeps it warmer longer. So anyway, what we're working on, giving you guys an update. Several things going on. So I finally got them. They're behind the camera here. I finally got the needle bearings in. Okay, look at here. Temkin from the place, and I've talked about it on Facebook. It's called finditparts.com. These guys are phenomenal. They have all sorts of parts, and they actually had Temkin parts, and these are relatively inexpensive. Generally, when you have a Temkin name, they are really expensive. These are an oddball size, meaning typically the most applications, they're either 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch in length. They're a 5/8 inside diameter. These are actually 5/8 in length, so they were an oddball size. So my auto parts house was like, man, we can't even get we can get them, but what he said was, hey, we're going to charge you shipping. And honestly, you can find, he pulled it up online and showed me, my buddy at O'Reilly's over here, he's like, hey, you can actually get these cheaper online, and he showed me this place. So there was another place I talked about on my live feed, asked me about it, and I'll tell you, they're a joke, and I'll just leave it at that. I'm still having to fight with them to get my money back, because they said they delivered them, and they didn't. Yep. No, this is from Find It Parts, and these were actually delivered from, wow, from Temkin. Wow, they were actually sent from Temkin in Crossville, Tennessee. Wow, interesting. So anyway, got the parts, got the stuff, we're cruising along. I've made the replacement shaft, okay, and I was checking the fit on my, because I'm making 2 of these, okay, one for me and one for Stan, and we're also going to have to make the gear, and we're going to show some of that stuff, because here's the old shaft that was in there, okay. This is the part that was actually stuck up inside of the handle, and you had a flat, and then I don't know what they were doing. This thing was worn out and had been beat. It had claw marks on it and hammered and worn out and ground, and it was just bad. So made 2 of those, one for me, one for Stan, and I'm I've already started it over here, and we'll show it. I'm gonna make 2 gears, and I'll recover this. Here it is, the original gear. Okay, it's actually held on by, I'm gonna have to drill a hole, plumb through, okay, as far as when I get it on, and then drive a pin, and that's what'll hold on. You guys can see how worn out that gear is. Okay, needle freaking thin. 1 inch 125 thou is the major outside diameter. I've got the correct gear cutter. We have 18 teeth. It is a 16 degree pitch, 14.5 degree pressure angle. So we're going to go and show that, and you can see how wore out that is. I mean, it's just, you know, worn out. And so we're going to show that. That'll be a separate video. Yes, it'll be in the Sunday Shenanigans stuff. We'll get set up and we'll do gear cutting. So working on the surface grinder, you guys, I've got the garage door open this morning because it's nice and cool. So the camera may wash out a little bit. So we're working on the surface grinder over here. And yes, I am going to build a, move the camera back over here so it won't wash out. Yes, I am going to build a safety cover for the front because that one was missing. I've got the aluminum to do it. I also got another piece that showed up. Let me grab it and I'll show you. That I happened to find. It was an eBay score. And here it is. Okay. And I was waiting till this came in before I attempted to start building the front cover. It is actually for flood coolant. Okay. This like press fits on. Okay, where you plug your flood coolant in there and it'll flow flood coolant onto the grinding surface. Now I am waiting for my Noga mister to show up. I've got one ordered. It's on the way because I'm going to use that primarily. But I wanted to make sure when I built my cover that it was wide enough this would be a nice snug fit. And what I am going to do, I'm going to drill and tap. So I have a real short, which I'll have a hole here, but I'll drill and tap it into my new cover because I'm going to use a real short screw. I'm actually going to end up doing both sides. So if I put this on, I don't have to worry about it falling off on something, but it's going to press on, and I'm going to have it fasten on with two small, real shallow, screws that will not protrude in and affect the grinder wheel. So that way if I do want to use flood coolant, you slide your little hose in there. It's got your little set screws. So now that we have that, we can move on. I have been working on, I picked these up several months back. And they were actually rough machined, or they were machined, I'm sorry, they were machined out, they were ground, and they were hardened, and they needed to be finished ground. But there are a couple of vices here, been working on, learning the surface grinder, and learning what wheels will work good, which ones won't. Now, doing real good, nice and smooth. I've even redone, you know, and mine is a hydraulic, so it has, you can see like the little auto step marks, and it's just shadowing is all it is. Beautiful, beautiful. I mean, I've went in and I've even touched up the surfaces in there, just working on the speeds and feeds and everything. So I've got to, and these are just going to be used around the shop here. So I've basically went through, trued everything up, and these are just going to be used here in the garage. And I've got to make the yokes and the spherical washers and everything still. So, but we got a pair of them. This one here, I've still got a little bit of grinding to do on it. You can see here I still need to go and touch up that surface as well as that. I've already ground the face, and I've got to do a little touch up on this jaw here, this jaw face. It's got a high spot over here down in this corner, so it doesn't allow, you can see the jaw does not set correctly. You can see there's a little bit of a gap, so we're going to go in, we'll set up, and we'll set our, well, what I'll actually do is I'll set up my vise, clamp this in, and I'm actually going to go in sideways with my wheel spinning this way and touch that up. And so we'll get that, it slides nice and smooth. And just, these are going to be functional for around inside. If I have a couple of projects, or I've got two vices that'll be same size, same. I've got one big giant vise that I use. So anyway, loving this surface grinder. It's working great. Putting that one heater that I mentioned, going from a W33 for the because it was rated right at the ragged edge of amperage that motor can draw for the hydraulic pump. I found the next step up, W34s, put those heaters in, working great, flawlessly, no issues. Also noticed, because the hydraulic, how it feeds back and forth on the X, or on the Y, on the table, there's actually some little area, there's supposed to be some little catch pans that help catch the drip oil from the waste system of the oiling, so it doesn't end up on the floor. And it's supposed to, because I can see the holes where they were at one time. Someone removed them, so I'm going to make some. I'll be using my little pan brake here that I got at the bash. I'm going to fold up some little pieces of metal, and they'll actually catch the oil from the ways, and it'll drop it and dump it back into the bottom and the waste oil and the little puke pot at the back. So that'll be another set of videos we'll try to do. Let me go ahead and move the camera over here. I'll get you guys over my left shoulder. What I am going to do, I'm going to go ahead and drop the garage door so it doesn't wash the camera out. Real quick, let's put this back. Garage door closed here. All right. Get you guys over my shoulder. We'll just do a little machining this morning. Show you what we got going on here. Try to get you guys a good angle. Let me reach over here and turn the lathe on. Okay, all right. So what we're doing here is to kind of explain. I need to make 2 of those gears. All right. So first off, one thing. Okay, this is a little keeper washer. Okay. This little keeper washer is what sits into the casting that holds the needle bearings and the hole everything in. Now, unbeknownst to me, because it was hidden and covered up, when I pulled this out, it busted the casting. So I'm going to fix that with some steel putty and whatever. But this holds the bearings and everything in, and there's a blind hole with a set screw that holds this in. Well, this is supposed to be 5/8. I've measured this thing, and it is worn way the hell out. I mean, it's supposed to be 5/8, so we're going to be making another one, and we've got some 4140 chucked up here. Now, I've got this in 2 sections. This first part here is going to be this, okay? So, and then the other is already turned down to our major diameter of these. Now, so that I don't have to sit here, when I go to make 2 of these, I don't have to, I'm not going to part it off and have 2 blanks. I'm going to have 1 large blank, but what I am going to do, I'm going to come down here and part past where the teeth would normally be, so that way when I go to cut, I can go ahead and cut here and across the gap and to the other blank. So I'll be making both gears at once, but they're still connected by this. And so when I get done cutting all the gears, then I can come back over here on the lathe and go ahead and finish parting it off all the way, and then separate them and dress them up. And then at that point, I'll go ahead and put them onto the shaft, and we'll drill through and repin them like these are. So we'll go ahead and get started. We do need to finish going ahead and putting our 5/8 bit in here for a 5/8 hole. And we'll go ahead and get started on that. And that's where we left off last night. And I figured it'd be a good starting place for today. So let's see here. Kind of do a little cleanup. So yeah, when the lightning started and all that, I shut the machine off and walked out of the garage. So let's see, let's get our coolant going. Make sure we're flowing here. Alright, because we're going to run some flood, move this back. So the flood coolant will drop straight down in there. Alright, set up, flood coolant going, and we should be in low, there, and all I had left to do was run in a 5/8 bit. That thing is slipping, that's not good. There, I guess not. Let's try that again. Thought I had it tight. other holes. That bit's wanting to spin. It's a Chicago Latrobe. Yeah, it's wanting to spin on that shank. I've had that bit a long time. I've done a lot of drilling with it. I need to buy me some of the larger drill hog bits in the Silver and Deming sizes. That's my next step, is to get the drill hog bits in these larger sizes, because they have the 3 flats on them and they won't spin in the chuck. So yeah, sometimes hard to get a good crank down on my chuck on certain bits. I don't know why. It's, you know, put that back in its holder over here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that burr off there so it'll fit. Anyway, so we're 5/8 in there now. We need to come in there and ream a little bit. Or not ream, but we need to get a chamfer on the end of this. Okay. Show you guys what we got going on. Matter of fact, let me move the camera so I can get you guys a little bit better view from the end down here so you can see what's going on. Alright. Ta-da! And I'll get you zoomed in. You can see what we got going on down here. And there we go. There we go. Try to get you guys a good view. So we're in. Let's go ahead and up here and do a little. We got that. That's all out of the way. Go ahead and clean that coolant out. Going to do a quick dry fit. Make sure she's going to slide on there as advertised before we start parting things off, and it should be a good, nice slip fit. Boom. And it does all the way through, because everything's 5/8. And their stuff are going to be pinned on. So there we go. We got that in. Let's get our part off blade. The next one we have here, we're going to be parting off. Set up, and we'll come up here and figure out the width of what we want with what was there, and we'll make it a little, just a hair longer. Alright, lock everything down. This is where you gotta love flood coolant for parting off. And we'll get our little thing started here. Catch our part. I still see what's going on there. Yep. Set on my, I put a new blade in here and I need to set my height. Alright, I've had this for a long time. You guys have seen this. Edge Technologies. Adam Booth has a lot of Edge Technology stuff nowadays. I've had this for a couple of years. I love this stuff. They're handy as all get out. So we'll come in here. Yeah, I bought this thing a couple of years ago and they are handy, handy, handy. So we need to set our tool height, because I put a new parting blade in here. Come in here, level up. That top nut down. And we're going to find our spot is going to be right there. There we go, get my handle locked back out of the way. Come in here, tighten our top nut, double check our height, because you just put it right up against there and you set it right on top of the tool. And we need to go down just a hair. Just a hair. Right there. Tool tight, Tighten that back on, and we're good to go. All right, let's try this again. There we go. I'm just going to part this off by hand here. And this will be a couple of episodes today as far as Sunday Shenanigans. We'll carry you guys through it, and I'll get everything set up, and we'll actually be doing some gear cutting in the next episode. I'm going to hand feed this in for a ways, and I'll come in and chamfer the edges. This is 4140 that I'm using here. Mill file. These are some good old-fashioned, this isn't just high-speed steel parting blades. These actually have carbide on the top. They got the carbide layer on the top. They do real good. Matter of fact, I picked these up at the summer bash. Andrew Padaka had a big box full of them, and I snagged them up. So they've been working out great. I went ahead and changed them out. Some of them have little carbide pieces on the ends, and so we changed out our parting blades, and there we go. And we're done. So we've got that for later. Actually, we're still going to need that later. So that's our blank for that. Get our coolant out of the way here. Get our parting blade out of the way. So yeah, you can see it's some old school what we've got there. And they've been working great. And here's the other one here that has a piece of carbide in the tip. I got a bunch of those. So we loaded up our both our parting tools. We're going to go ahead and take some of this down because we don't need it, but I did turn extra just because when I was doing it. Up here with our CMG 432. Let's get some speed on that thing. 75. Now there is, although there's not a whole lot, there is just a little bit of a shoulder there. This thing's pretty worn out. It looks like there may have been, now in part of this setup in here, okay, there was, and I'm redesigning it, and essentially there's this little deal that fit on the side and plugged in because you push it in to rotate the table, you pull it out, and the table will do, and so the wheel doesn't spin back and forth. There is a setup in here, and it's a lot of the parts were destroyed, so I'm just going to leave it out. There was an oddball type bearing in there that I was trying to figure out, and I'm thinking there were springs and catches and all this, and this setup here, which would lock it in, is, yeah, bunch of missing pieces. And I thought, you know what, all I really need is a new shaft, a new gear, and the 2 needle bearings, and then obviously that one keeper plug on the end, because all I need to do is support that shaft. All this other garbage of a lock, ratchet, whatever, it's supposed to be like a little safety catch, that so you don't accidentally bump the wheel forward, into which I'm, so I am, since it's my machine, because a lot of the when I pulled this out, a lot of garbage literally just fell out. The little ball, I actually put this back together. There was torn up brass washers, all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to leave all that out. So essentially we're going to have the gear, a needle bearing, an open area, and then you're going to have another needle bearing. Now what I am going to do, so the needle bearings on the shaft do not move, which they press into the housing, but to make sure that they don't slide anywhere, I am going to put a little keeper. I'm going to make a little tube that'll fit in between them, or little, not keeper tube, but I'm going to create a small, it'll have a 5/8 diameter, and it'll fit on there, and it'll just keep the bearings. And I'm going to have a set screw. They're going to be smaller diameter, and they're just going to keep the bearings from walking. But the bearings themselves, they press into the housing so they don't come out. So I'm kind of reinventing everything, fixing it for what I need. So there you go. I'm going to go ahead and continue parting this off. I'm going to build a stub shaft, and we'll go ahead and then I'll get everything set up on the mill for the stub shaft. And I'm not going to show that because it's just some basic lathe turning, but I'm going to do that. I'm going to get everything set up off camera, as far as, so that way you guys can see the gear cutting, everything going on. I've got to set the rotary table up, get all my divisions set down and figure it out, which it's 18 teeth, so it's 20 divisions, and we'll have that all set up. And or it's 20 degrees 18 times, I'm sorry. But anyway, there we go. That's what we're going to be working on today as far as on the Sunday Shenanigans. I'm going to be making some gears for the Boyer Schultz, so I can finally get my handle in there and have my traverse handle for the X done, finished. Literally, that's the, other than the guard, we're getting close to having this thing 100%. Oh, and then we've got those little covers we're going to have to make for the to catch and redirect the waste oil for the lubrication of the bed. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed this first episode on today's Sunday Shenanigans. It'll probably be 1 or 2 more videos depending on how long it takes to do the gear cutting. Again, I'm going to make all these stub shafts and the setup off camera. You guys don't need to see that, but thanks for watching. You guys take care of yourself and take care of your family, because remember, at the end of the day, you and your family is all you got. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Facebook. In the mornings, you guys want to see live, unedited James Green, I'm on there. Feel free to interact. That's what it's for. We do our wake up routine, cup of coffee, all that stuff. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode here in a little bit. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.